We were complaining about our husbands one time, and she just said, "You know what you guys need to do?" She'd been married forever. She said, "Just ask them to do something."
Yep.
She's
Yep.
like, instead of expecting them to do it, just ask. And I feel like
Yeah.
that was the best advice. It saved me so
Oh yeah.
much, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
passive aggressiveness.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
Like, but then if I ask him, sometimes he might forget. I'm a little bit impatient. Like I kind of want things done. When I'm done, I'm like,
We'd like to welcome you back to the Beyond I Do podcast. And we have another great, wonderful episode for you guys. We have a couple that has come to share their love story with us. The couple goes by the name of Adam Maurice Fling and Kimberly Woods Fling.
We are so excited. Kimberly and I are actually in a Facebook group together for wives. And I posted and asked if any couples wanted to come share their story. And she was like, sure. And she said, my husband loves to tell our story so much that he wrote a book about it.
Yeah.
And so
And it's called Kimberly's Book.
it is. And we got a copy of the book. We reached out to them and they scheduled a meet and greet. So we fell in love with their story and with their energy from the first time we met them.
Yes.
And we are so excited for you to hear their story.
Yep. So here we go. So guys, tell us about, before you guys got together, what was your ideas about marriage?
No, my idea about marriage and yours. So, my wife isn't my first wife. When I met my wife, my grandfather and my grandmother were there till death do us part. Like my grandmother died, and after my grandmother died, my grandfather was like, "It's no reason to live." Like that's the type of love that I'm used to seeing. So my after my first marriage, I was at the point to where I wasn't I didn't want to get married again, but I always said I want to get married again, but I want to find exactly what I wanted.
Right.
And I searched for exactly what I wanted, and God gave me exactly what I wanted.
All right.
And a lot of what I needed, but I didn't know I needed.
Yes.
And by the time I met him, I had honestly given up on love. Like I did not think I was
She
gonna
didn't
get
believe in
married.
love.
No, I didn't, I guess. I didn't think I was gonna get married. I had told myself I was gonna be the rich auntie. I was online looking for just a friend, someone just to hang out with, go to the movies with, maybe do dinner with every now and then, but nothing serious.
She told me, she said, "I don't want a relationship. I just want somebody to do dinner with." I laughed at
He was not having it. He was like, I'm trying to be in a relationship. And I was like, first I was kind of like, well, you're looking at the wrong person.
So y'all have dipped into it a little bit, but tell us how you met and what that first meeting was like.
So it's funny because we met on POF, right? So
Yeah.
it's funny because we met on POF and
Online dating.
yeah, online dating. I sent her a message, and when I sent her a message, I said, I think you're beautiful. I love to get to know you. She messaged me back.
Oh.
She messaged me back. I don't date pretty boys because I don't want to be with the man in the mirror more than me. So I was like,
That's because all like pictures. He had like suits on and like all that. I'm like, oh
Okay.
my God, like
yeah, because
I'm just not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah,
But it was a joke though. It was
but
a
it was
joke.
so I messaged her back. Okay, be blessed.
No, but you know what being blessed means, right? Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Be
To heck
blessed.
with you then.
So she,
Adam
I
said
would have
he can't
said
help
that.
what he is.
crazy. Yeah, so she got mad. So she got mad and she texted me back. I'm from the South. Well, you're not from the South, you're from Louisville, but your family's from the South, so I guess it counts. But she did message me back. I'm from the South. My family from the South. I know what be blessed means. And I know reading it, and it's like we never met. It's funny because I actually say this in the book. It's funny because as I'm reading it, I never met her. I've only seen a picture, but as I'm reading in my head, like I'm reading it, seeing her facial expression, hearing her voice. And when I met her, exactly the way how I read it and saw the mannerisms and the facial expressions on,
That's
and
how it
hearing her
came
voice,
off.
exactly.
Wow.
So she's like, I'm from the South. I know what that means. And then I messaged her back. I'm like, I didn't mean to offend you. I wasn't trying to upset you. And I told her, I said, I realize I'm not for everybody. If I'm not for you, be blessed.
Right. Right.
Everybody know you be blessed.
That was a wonderful start there.
I like that start though.
Yeah,
I like
yeah,
that
yeah.
start because
It's funny because her birthday is March 25th. And we started talking on March 25th. It was her birthday. She
Okay.
did her little, because it was during COVID. Yeah, it was during COVID. She made a video and she was, because I went to Facebook stalked her after we told
There you go.
and she made a video and she was celebrating her birthday by herself. She had one of the little, what do you call the things, the little, with your blowout. And I messaged her back, this will be the last birthday that you ever celebrate by yourself. And then we
Oh, okay.
started back talking.
Okay.
And
All right.
then 3 days
I guess he
later,
wasn't too pretty for that, huh?
then 3 days later, we talked online and over the phone for 3 days. And on the 28th, 3 days after we met online, we decided to meet at the waterfront here in Louisville, and it was heaven sent.
so, and you mentioned it was during COVID, so that adds a whole other element there
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
makes
and
things a little
honestly,
bit
I tell
difficult.
people all the time, I said this to her probably about a year and a half ago. I said, it's just selfish that I miss COVID because doing like, she's a nurse. She was working, what, 2 days, 3 days? And maybe 3 days. So she had 4 days off. I work in the food industry. And I work in the food industry. I'm a restaurant manager. So at the time, my restaurant, like, if nobody was sitting down to eat.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, so I was working like 3, 4 days a week. So, and we couldn't go on quote unquote real dates. So we would
Mhm.
do like, we just get in the car and drive like somewhere. We live in Louisville, Kentucky. We drive to Madison, Indiana, which is about what, 3 hours away. And we would spend 3 hours on the way, just riding, listening to music, playing music trivia, arguing about stupid stuff.
Wow.
All we was arguing about songs, everything. And we spend 3 hours riding somewhere, and we would get to a park or something, and we go into a restaurant and get some food and find the nearest park and just sit at that park and eat our food and enjoy the outside. Like, she had me food. I thought she liked outdoors and hiking and stuff. She didn't even like being
Not at
outside.
all. Not at all.
You would have
Ain't been
thought
back since.
after COVID, we did another picnic. Like, but like we used to do like we used to do like 2, 3 picnics a week. Like we would always make sure there was a distance, and we just spend that time in the car arguing, talking, getting to know each other. Not really arguing because we never had debate. We never had a real argument, but debating, getting to know each other, and during those first 7 months, it literally was just me and her. I tell her all the time, like, I wish I could just go back to COVID because I didn't have to share you with nobody.
Oh,
Like,
Oh, that's
like,
beautiful.
like every day we wake up, like one of the things that I value the most about my wife is as soon as she get off work, she calls me the moment she get in the car. She's been doing that since day one, since March 28th, 2020.
Okay.
2019, I'm sorry. No,
Mhm.
what, 2020. So she would get in the car, what you doing? And she always got off early. Nothing, and we go do a picnic and it just be us. Then COVID ended and I got a share.
Yeah, yeah. That's that heart right there because you so used to being with her and encompassing, and then now it's other people involved. So you're like, man,
Exactly. Exactly. It's funny because she used to tell her friends all the time. She said, "Yeah." She said, "I think he the one. I think we're gonna be good, but you gotta see when COVID ends when we can get back in the street."
and yep,
We gotta see what happened.
right. Make sure it's not just that everything is down and see how.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, how long did y'all date before you became engaged?
Not long at all.
No.
So we met March 20, and like I said, I talk about in the book, that's the whole first chapter. Met March 25th. We went through COVID. We were able to travel on the 4th of July weekend. That was like when everything, yeah, that's when everything like opened back up.
Mhm.
So March, April, May, June, July. So 4 months after meeting her, I took her home to Myrtle Beach, to my hometown, to meet my mama and my whole family. She met my whole family 4 months after we were together. At month 6, because when I brought her ring, I had to buy all the stones and put it together. So I started working on, and I designed her ring. I started working on her ring around July, August, and
Mhm.
I gave it to her in October, but she couldn't put it on. Like she saw it and it was sitting beside her bed, and she would open it every day and look at it. Then I finally officially proposed November 5th on my birthday. I gave her my birthday, as I like to say.
So wait a minute now. You had the ring.
I,
You had it sitting there.
I
She
gave
had
her
to
my
be. She was able
birthday.
to look at it, but she couldn't put it on.
Yeah, she couldn't put it on.
Kim-
And it's
Kimberly,
funny
was
because
that torture?
I had
Was
it
that, did that
mailed to,
man torture you?
I know.
and it's funny because I had it mailed to her house.
Yeah,
I had it shipped.
Boy.
I had it shipped to her house.
I mean,
I'm like, look, I'm gonna be at work when it comes. You gotta sign for it. It's yours anyway, so you can sign for it. I had it in her name. Like when it came to the house, it didn't even come. It didn't even come for me. It came for her. She signed for it,
Oh
and
man.
like she would look at it every day. And when it came, I told her, I said, you can't look. She was good though. I told her, I said, you can't look at it until I show it to you. So I had to work for like 2 days. We didn't see each other for 2 days, and I came and I just knew she was gonna have it on, and it was still in the package and everything. Like you didn't look at
Mhm.
it.
Now, Kimberly, for those 2 days, how much
Did you shake?
curse
I
words did you?
did. I'm not gonna. I was tempted
How
a
much
couple
curse
times.
words
I'm
did
not
you
gonna lie.
use?
I was
Like
like, maybe I
this
can
so and
paste it
so.
back together.
You tell me to be blessed.
Yeah.
And now
You sent me a
you
ring.
send
I can't put it
Every
on.
6 months. Yeah, she had a ring in
You
6 months.
Is
She had
this
a
an
ring in six
engagement? What is this going on? I
so
don't know.
so Kimberly, how did you feel about the pace of everything? Were you
It was
comfortable?
a little fast. It was. But just who he was, how consistent he was, it was something definitely different that I never had before. It was. It was like he was a true gentleman. It was so weird. Like he would always open up doors, like, make sure I was good. The one thing that like really, because I like to, I can't sing, but I love to sing. So I'm on the phone. If you say a word that reminds me of the song, I'm singing the song. And so
Okay.
one day I was getting ready to go to sleep. I had called him before I went to bed. And he calls me right back and he's like, I didn't hear you sing today. Like, are you good? And I was like, yeah, I mean, I don't know if it was a rough day or not. I was like, yeah, but then that just kind of stuck with me. Like, he knows, like, if she's not singing or, she may not be happy, like
Mm.
he made it a point to call back and say, you good? Like, you ain't sung. I said a couple words. You ain't sung no
Hey,
song that it
for
reminds
real.
What?
Hey,
So it was rushed. I'm like, for my mom too, it was hard.
oh
Yeah. No, but I had to do
So,
my
so,
research, did a little bit of the, he was Facebook stalking and some other things. But
so
it was
the
a little
last,
fast paced, but it felt, like I said, he was very consistent. So I was okay.
so the last family gathering, you had declared like, I'm just gonna be rich auntie. So I ain't worrying about getting married. I'm gonna be
No.
single until I'm an
Yeah.
old woman. And then you bring this young man home.
I know.
The mom was like, wait a
Wait a
minute, now,
minute.
and it's funny
what happened
because
between Thanksgiving and
What's
March?
happening?
and it's funny because like I said, we met during COVID. So like immediately after COVID, she met my family. And which is
Mm,
crazy because my family states away and her mom is right down the road from us. But I hadn't met her mom yet.
No,
So
I don't
okay.
see anybody
yeah,
home.
so I'm starting
Wow.
to wonder. I'm starting to wonder after about when I met her mother, she'd already had her ring.
I
Like,
think, yeah, I think it was Thanksgiving.
yeah, you already had
I
your
want to say, yeah.
about
Oh wow.
3 weeks. Yeah, well, it was Thanksgiving. And my mother-in-law, I tell the story all the time. I used to call my mother-in-law monster-in-law. Like the movie.
Oh, she gave it to him. I'm not even gonna lie.
Listen,
Oh, uh-oh.
when I say all the time, my mother-in-law next to my wife is the most entertaining person that I've ever met in my life, right? So when I met my mom, she was giving it to me, but I couldn't help but like laugh on the inside because she was just so funny to me, you know. And
Yeah, yeah.
now, like our relationship, like I said, I love my mother-in-law. I call her that's my mom, but she made me earn her respect. She
Yes.
made me earn her love. And the thing that I value most about when I met my wife is like I told her the day that I met her, I was gonna marry her. And I remember one time I told her, like, we had been together like 3 weeks, maybe. And I'm like, I'm gonna marry you one day. She looked at me and she said, if I let you.
Right.
Like
There you go. There you go.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I let you. You know, so like that kind of opened my eyes a little bit. Like I've always saw her as the prize, but I feel like a lot of times men we forget that we have to chase the prize. I tell her all the time, I chase you forever. You know,
Mhm.
like I had to chase her, I had to get chosen, and I had to like I had to put in the work. But when I
Yeah,
met her
that's good stuff.
mother-in-law made me come to the realization of why she was the way. Yeah, my mother-in-law, the way she was, why she was the way she was, because my mother-in-law was the same way. I had to put in the work. I was working for about a year and a half with both of them.
Yeah. So I know immediately when she met you, she was like, mm-hmm.
Who is this?
And every
And
time
what?
you said something, mm-hmm.
I walked through the door, and I'm looking, I'm like, "Man, she didn't tell me I was coming."
No,
No.
Oh Lord.
no, but I was like, I had to put little things in there because I'd be like, because he would always send me flowers, and she's like, so.
Oh man.
And
Like, everybody sending flowers. Right. And I'm
And
looking. I'm like, hold on, everybody sending flowers. But I put on a suit, go to the hospital because my wife's a nurse. I put on a suit and go to the hospital, take her flowers. I mean, I buy her co-workers candy. Don't nobody put in the work. Everybody buy flowers. She was like,
I'm not impressed by the flowers. She
she's like,
literally said that.
yeah, she's like, the kid was like, he opened every door for me, so he's supposed to.
right.
Everything I did, I was supposed to do anyway. I wasn't special at all. I was not special.
oh, okay, okay.
That changed.
Yeah, that changed.
Certainly. Now she's more open and sees that you
Oh
work
yeah,
put in the work and you
oh
earned
yeah.
it.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
took about. I'm gonna say it took a true about 6 months. About six
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
months.
Mhm.
Take about six. I
yeah.
remember one time. Can I tell the story?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No,
I mean, okay, keep it nice.
no. She told him off. That's
She
it.
told me off.
He told you all. Yeah,
Told me
yeah.
clean off, like, and it was random, right? And she's like,
Uh,
it's random. We having dinner. I don't know what happened. You know, we still haven't, gotten the relationship that we have now. Probably a couple of months in. She told me clean off to the point where I just sat there and I took it. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
mm.
Went to the car, got in the car, called my mama and cried like a baby.
I know the thing
So,
about my mom. So she has a lot of things that she's bringing from her relationship, and other
uh,
things that have, and I was trying to tell her that we're totally different people. This is a
mm,
different thing. I've learned some things from yours, and so she was bringing all that, and it was a protective thing, and I get it.
And
oh
it
yeah,
was,
yeah, 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 yeah.
Right.
And it was.
and it was a test because
She did test. She
yeah,
told me, she's like, I made him mad just to see how he would react. She
Oh
did.
wow.
She's like, I
yeah.
want to see how he's gonna react when he gets out of character.
And I went to the car and I cried like a baby, called my mama, woman. And I went back in. But look though, so I went back in the next time we went to the house, I walked in the house and I sat down and she was a whole completely different person. She was happy to see me.
Mhm.
Like I felt like a son in law that day.
Right.
And she looked
Okay.
at me and she said, you passed your test.
Right.
Welcome to the family.
Ah, man, you had to be cussed out. And she probably told Kim, she's like, he gonna cry in the car.
And just imagine she wanted to make sure too, Kimberly, that you were thinking correctly
Yeah,
and you
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So I get it.
yeah,
I get
yeah.
it. I'm glad you made it on to the other side.
Yeah, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. That is wonderful.
How long was the engagement?
Look, I'm bad with like dates and times. I'm terrible. That's always like
So we technically got engaged November 5th, 2020, and then we got married January 9th, 21.
Yeah.
So about a year and a half. Yeah.
Okay.
About a
Okay.
year and 3 months. Yeah.
Okay. That's what's
It
up.
was about a year and 3 months because we had a lot of work to do. Like we bought our house before we got married. Like it's funny because we got engaged. Then after we got engaged, we got our first apartment, our first loft, and we had that for like 3 months. Then God told me we was gonna buy a house, so we started
Yeah, he
looking for.
told me something. We had to buy a house. It's like, no, we're not. We're planning a wedding.
Slow down, brother. Slow down.
And it's funny because we were going to elope. We were going to elope to Rome. I called up, was like, God told me we were going to buy a house. So we were going to elope to Rome, and the hotel that we were going to stay at was right beside the Roman Colosseum. I love history, and I love the
Mhm.
Roman Colosseum. It's one of my favorite places, and she always wanted to go to Italy. So we've had our elopement plan and everything. We was gonna go to Rome, have a good old time.
Mhm.
God said, "Nope, you're buying the house." So I
Now I'm
called
tell
and told her,
you.
and that this time when I called and told her we were buying the house, it was January of 20. We got married January 22. It was January of 21.
Okay.
And we'd already had our wedding date. We were supposed to get married New Year's, but we'd already had we were going to go to Rome on that New Year's. We already had our wedding date. She was like, "Well, no, no, you're not. We're going to buy a house. We got to get. We planning a wedding." But it's funny because 6 months prior to that, we were having a conversation, and we wanted to have kids at the time, and we was talking about buying the house, getting married, and having a kid all in the same year. So I threw that back in
Oh.
her face. I was like, "Well, last year you wanted to do all
I
three
thought
at
it
the
sounded
same
like a
time."
good idea.
She's like, "Yeah, that's what she said." She said it sounded like a good idea then. We just gonna plan the wedding.
Uh,
It's like,
But we went a time where we literally had three places. Like we got our loft.
yeah.
We got our loft like 3 months after I proposed to her.
mhm.
Then 2 months later, we go to buy a house. So we had our loft. She had an apartment, still had a lease on her apartment, and we was going through the process of buying our house. All at the
Right.
same time.
Oh man.
And we still had only been together for like 11 months.
Now I'm gonna tell you now, Adam. The cussing you would have gotten from Mama if y'all had eloped.
Right.
I know what God's plan was, but Mama was gonna let you have that thing.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo.
I was going alone for me.
And that wouldn't have been no test.
Right.
That would have been no test right there.
So
Look, I said, look, in my mind, like we alone, she can't stop it.
but boy, you can
Ooh,
definitely
boy,
coming back.
that coming back
Don't ask
home,
that
but it been
question if
different.
anybody wants to stop you.
You can't tell the person that what she said. If you know the question, if anyone, she said, don't even ask that question.
Right.
Are you good today? Tomorrow? Ain't no telling.
So what about like extended family and friends with the speed of the relationship, with everything going on? Kimberly, how were your friends reacting? Adam,
No,
how were your
Oh, they was
friends?
some straight haters.
they,
Great
they're
haters.
they are very protective of me.
Uh,
They were not with it. Honestly, it did take a lot. But once they met a couple of them came around. Some of them were still kind of like, I'm gonna support you if this is what you want. But if he acts up, I got your back.
Right.
yeah, yeah.
Right.
And even my dad and my family are like, okay, is this is this what you want to do? We're gonna support you. Is it because it was quick. And I understand that. Because I've been on the opposite of end. I was like, oh my gosh, they're getting married so quick. Is this what they really want? Is this the good thing? Is he the right
Right,
person? Blah blah
right.
blah. So I did have there was some persuading that needed to be done.
Mhm.
Eventually, everybody pretty much came around. They love him now, so it's good. Yeah.
It's funny because like for me, I'm a Scorpio, right? So we're naturally
Scorpio,
spontaneous people.
November 10th, buddy.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So we're naturally spontaneous. Like we wait,
Mhm.
like when I moved to Louisville, God told me my wife was in Louisville. God said your wife's in Louisville. He told me in a dream. I woke up the next morning. I said, God, is this true? Am I tripping? He said, no, your wife's in Louisville. I packed
Okay.
myself and moved that day.
Oh
I
man.
came to Louisville that day. I came to Louisville for my wife. And when I left South Carolina, people like, why are you leaving? God told me my wife was in Kentucky. So my family already knew. I told them, God told me my wife's in Kentucky, so they knew next time I see y'all, I'm gonna be engaged. You
Oh
know,
man.
I called my best friend, and it's funny because I made the post a couple of weeks ago, and my best friend confirmed it. But my best friend Natara, the day that I met my wife, I called her. I told her, I said, I met my wife today, and she was like, "What?" I said, I met my wife today. She's like, "Okay, we'll see in a couple of weeks, couple of months." I'm
Uh-huh.
like, for real, I met my wife today. You know, so like my mom, the day that my family, like I said, she met my whole family 4 months after we met. You know, and the day that my family met her, they knew that I was going to marry her. Like,
Uh-huh.
I already called my mom and told her, you're going to meet your daughter-in-law. You know, then when
Mm.
she met my family, she just fit. One of the things I love about her, I tell her all the time, she reminds me of my grandmother. Like they're almost the same personality, except for she's nice and my grandmother's mean.
Okay. Yeah.
But, like everybody, we just love her. She reminds us of somebody, and she part of the family. So my family was very accepting, like very, very
Mm.
accepting. You know, my mama, she just wanted me to be happy, and my mama loves her. You know, so just it was smooth for me. It was her family that had the issue.
And that's understandable.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
usually so you get married, you've already purchased your home, you've already been what was that shift like once you were married? What was that? How did your relationship change? Did it change or were you all pretty, into a rhythm?
I think once we moved in together, we kind of knew that, okay, this is, which I think, honest, how back in the day they said you can't live with like a person before
Yeah.
getting married. I'm like, oh my gosh, I think you should. So you
Oh
can get
yeah.
over
Yeah.
that hump of like everything get on your nerves, things,
Right. Right.
how
Mm.
do they live? How do they leave the bathroom?
Oh yeah.
They clean up, you got to figure that out. So once we got married, it's pretty much the same, honestly, because we had kind of went through that before, which I appreciated actually.
It's,
Mhm. Mhm.
it's
There you
funny
go.
because I asked her one day, probably about 3, 4 months after we've been married. I said, does it feel different now? Is it different since we're married? She looked at me. She said, in my eyes, we was married when we bought a house together. We had already had our house 6 months.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, Kimberly, you mentioned living together first. And so 9 times out of 10, it's usually the women who look at things and say, that needs cleaning. And the men look and they say, what needs cleaning?
Mm.
And
Right.
then that creates the,
Yeah. That creates the
Oh my
war.
gosh, that
that
was a
adjustment.
struggle for me at first. Like,
Uh-huh.
I would get, men are wired so different.
They are.
Like,
Yeah.
I would just look at something. Like, I purposely would leave stuff sometimes because it was more of his dishes in the sink, and I'd be
Uh-huh.
like, so then one day I just blew up, like, why are your dishes still in there? Like, I gave you more than enough time to clean it up, or I start cleaning it up real loudly. I was gonna get to that. When? So it's funny because I talked to my manager, like we were complaining about our husbands one time, and she just said, "You know what you guys need to do?" She'd been married forever. She said, "Just ask them to do something."
Yep.
She's
Yep.
like, instead of expecting them to do it, just ask. And I feel like
Yeah.
that was the best
Yeah.
advice. It saved me so
Oh yeah.
much, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
passive aggressiveness.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
But then if I ask him, sometimes he might forget. I'm a little bit impatient. Like I kind of want things done. When I'm done, I'm like,
Well, that look he gave a
like,
little.
I'll do it before I go to bed. And I'm like, no, do it right now. So that way we can both just sit here and relax and watch TV. So that he gets up fine. And then, like, he'll do it. But it just saves so much. Like I said, passive aggressive, so much just like looking at him sideways just to ask and say,
Mm.
hey, can you do this? Versus me just like, what?
Right.
Because I feel like once she realized all she had to do was ask
Oh,
nicely.
Mm-hmm.
it's so nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, boy, that's something. Um, the way they met each other through Plenty of Fish,
Mm-hmm.
and he reached out to her, and when she looked at his pictures, she was
She said
like,
he was a little too high.
he was a little too
High
high
maintenance.
maintenance. So he responded, Well, be blessed.
I wonder, you know, you think about how stories come together, and each little part has its place.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, what if she had not been feisty enough to
Right,
come
right.
back?
To come back,
Because
exactly.
that's what
Yeah,
it was. It was the
yeah.
fight. You know, Kimberly and I,
It's
we
like
share
okay.
that
Yeah,
feistiness,
yeah, yeah.
and
Like what he mean by that?
right, right.
And
I
she
I
always want to know
said what
why.
I said, and I'm trying to figure out why you had something to say in return. So, um, dating and meeting during COVID time,
Yeah, yeah.
that in and of itself is a testament to the
Yep.
strength of their relationship. They were able to get through those times, and then afterwards,
Yeah.
when things go back to normal and they can get to
Get
some
out in the
normal
world.
things, they were able to adjust. And
And then he had to pass the test.
oh yeah,
Y'all that test.
yeah.
Mama cussed him out, made him cry. He called his mama.
Bless his heart, but he made it.
He made it. He
He
passed the
made it.
test,
He
man.
passed the test.
That was funny. This, I tell you what, just listening to a story like this, it just brings joy. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, you look at how people get together, how they get through, how they get together, and how they uh, form this relationship. And you know, you always see people meet. You always see them. You know, the announcement when they're gonna get married. You see the wedding, and then you see the pictures, but you don't get the full story until
Right.
you're actually talking to them. So it's just wonderful to hear everybody's unique individual story.
Right. And so now we're going to get back into it
Yep.
and hear more about that love story that he put out for the world, Kimberly's book, and to hear some of those words of wisdom to help divorce proof your marriage.
All right.
And Kimberly, you and I, we're in a Facebook group of wives together.
Oh
And
yeah.
that's one of the things that I've seen posted that it infuriates me. Um, there's a pop psychology culture where we want to diagnose everyone as a narcissist.
Yeah. Yep.
Mhm.
All men use weaponized incompetence
Yep.
to make you, you know, have to ask to get things done. And
Mhm.
so I'm glad that you brought that up, is just ask. And
Yeah,
that's not, it's not weaponized incompetence, because 9 times out of 10 he's not thinking that far
I
ahead.
don't.
Right.
He
No.
just, it's his idea of dirty and your idea of dirty are just
Yeah.
different.
And you know
So
what, Adam?
different.
I'm gonna help you out. I'm gonna help you out, and I'm gonna help some people out with this. Now, you know, I know you bought a house, so in your mind, did y'all buy a house new or was it a used house? I mean, older house or was it a new house?
Built in 1990. I love the story of our house. Like it was built in 1998.
Okay.
So yeah, so like when we got into our house, she wanted a brand new house, everything perfect.
Uh.
And our house was built in 1998, and we bought it in 20. We met in 2020, so we bought it in 2020.
Which we want.
Okay.
I don't know. We're bad with
Yeah,
names.
we weren't even together a year when we
You know what? That COVID time, all
yeah.
of this,
It's COVID time is crazy.
Like in my phone, I literally have a little thing that says the date. I'll be like,
Yeah.
what is this?
So we bought our house. Was like, you know, my wife is spoiled. Like, you know, it's
Mm,
funny because we come from different backgrounds. You know, I come from nothing, and she grew up with everything that she wanted. You know, her mom house. She was telling me when my parents bought that house, she come from a 2-parent home. I come from a 1-parent home. You know,
uh.
she's like when my parents bought their house, we walked in and we didn't have to do nothing. That's exactly what but you got me in here. We got to clean, and you know, this wife she's very bougie
I
to
need
the
to
point.
paint this, that.
Like she's
Where's the
very
maid
bougie.
at? Yeah.
She's very bougie to the point to
Where's the
where like
lawn man?
like, you know how normal people, you know, like we might call people, our friends and family. You're not normal. There's nothing normal about you, exceptional in every way. But
Yeah. Oh man.
but you know how normal people will call our friends and family, might get a couple of trucks together. We gonna get some pieces to repay them, and we
Oh
all gonna
yeah,
get together and move our stuff, right?
yeah. Uh-huh.
I'm at work one day. Kimmy called me. She's asking me questions, crazy questions. How you want this? How you want that? I'm like, what are you talking about? All right, cool. So I get off work. I pull up. Oh, this is why she asking me questions. She got a moving truck. So the day we moved in,
I was not gonna move
the day
that.
we moved in, she had like 6 appointments. We had the moving truck. I didn't even know about the moving truck. I just pulled up. I'm thinking we gonna pull people together. I pull up. It's 2 moving trucks there. She get 2 moving trucks.
Talk
The
about
pest people are already here. They're spraying for bugs.
I can't do bugs.
The cleaning lady is already like cleaning lady. So we're gonna be them people now.
Like, I don't want to
Woo.
pay for cleaning in this where I'm from. My family comes and help. I'm like,
Nah, we got
don't
a
worry.
cleaning lady.
Let them do it.
Like the
Mm.
pest people here, the cleaning lady here, there's a moving truck here. We got a dude cutting the grass. I'm a man. So I'm like, ain't no another man cutting my grass.
yes,
If we just wanted to get it done. Like it's like 6 different things going on. So
yes,
it's like that was the big difference where I come from nothing and I'm used to I have to get and do everything myself and or
Right.
get friends and family help. She come
Uh
from used to
Pay for convenience.
yeah, she come from used to get having what she wanted, and
yeah,
like
yeah,
you
yeah.
said, she told you she was gonna be the rich auntie. But like like that was the lifestyle she was living and it was like I felt like it was the working class and rich and famous, so we get in the house. But there's nothing wrong with our house. It just was brand new. It just wasn't
Uh-huh.
brand new. And she was used to brand new. She like, we gotta paint, we gotta do this, da da da. So it's like that was a transition.
Yeah, it
And,
Okay.
was.
and
Okay.
I'm OCD, but she's a germophobic. So I like organization, but she says I don't like clean. I just like
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
organization.
Yeah, yeah,
Everything
yeah,
that's
yeah,
But
clean.
she
yeah.
likes clean. She don't like organization.
So we had like our dishware in a box. What was in the kitchen for a while. But we were both working. So I come home, he's like, I put the dishes up. And I was like, well, did you wipe the counters out before you put them in there? No. They got to come out. They gotta come out. No.
right.
He's like,
Yeah,
clean
yeah.
it. I was like, they did it weeks ago. We got to do it again.
but what was the point of having a cleaning lady if I'm gonna have to re-clean it?
Yeah, yeah. And you know
So
what,
much.
Adam, you're the doer. You're the
And
doer.
then I wanted to line it, like line the cabinets
Yeah, put the
too.
line on it.
I was just like,
Yeah.
and did you wash? He didn't even wash the
And
dishes.
see, I didn't know nothing about liners. I'm like, liners,
Yes.
we got
It
Yeah.
simple
Yeah.
stuff like
Yeah.
that.
was funny.
It
That's
was fun though.
that's my philosophy is if we can pay someone to do it, that gives us time. That gives us time. Time
And
is
I'm the
I
doer.
can't tell my family that we got people in here cleaning. I was like,
Like yeah, for real. And now,
that's our
now,
secret then.
and now it's funny because we did Thanksgiving here at our house this year, and my brothers and I we were outside and we were talking about something, and we're talking about the yard, and said the yard looks good, and especially to be so cold, and said we know you ain't do it because y'all not cleaning ladies and y'all pay people to do everything. They pick at all my brothers pick at me all the time and say I'm soft because we pay people to do everything. I'm like, look,
That's
I'm
right.
still a man. I still can do this stuff. She just want to pay people to do it, okay?
And
There you go. There
look,
you go.
I don't
y'all
want
want
you to
my
ask me to
secret.
come out there.
Yep.
Here and help. No.
Yeah, and I had a hard time convincing him when we first hired someone to start cleaning because he was the youngest of 10. So at any time they
Oh,
had a whole crew in the house
Yep.
that could,
Yep. Yep.
um, but once we got to that point and I finally convinced him and he saw that, okay, that takes the load off of both of us,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it also takes a mental load off of me.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
That's what kind of convinced him. And so since the first time we've had someone consistently because that's just time and energy that we
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
Cause it's like, you have so much going on. You got this going on, and I do other things besides work. So I work on cars sometimes, and The last thing I want to think about in my week is, cleaning the house or
Uh-huh.
something. So, I get it, but I'm like you, Adam. I was like, man, shoot, I'm doing everything. Fuck all that. I'm gonna do
Right.
everything.
And he meant him because I'm not doing everything. I'm not doing everything. I'm not.
Listen, I
Uh,
already knew I wanted it.
right.
Yeah,
When we be lifting them boxes.
it took about probably, let's see, I'll say 15, no, I would say probably 17 years before I could get her to push a lawnmower. And it was literally like I was complaining, like, man, I got to get this grass cut. In the house we were living in before this one, we had a smaller front yard. So I was like, if I just get the front yard, I take care of that. She was like, well, I'll do it. I was like, you ain't finna do nothing. She said, well, show me how to turn it on. So I showed her how to turn it on. I started up for her. I thought she was gonna do a little trail. Next thing you know, she did the whole thing. I was like, okay. Then she had a
That one
couple of little
time.
spots she missed, but it turned out good.
That's why I only do.
I can't get Kimberly to be on the ground.
I gotta take my allergy medicine. I gotta have a
And,
mat. It's the lot.
and that's
If you all try
and
to take
that's
her
how.
20 minutes to get ready.
And look, I get it. And he's gotten to the point where he realizes that he takes care of the lawn for the most part now, but if he's tired, if he's stressed, he knows to find somebody to do
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
So we have struck that balance
Mm,
with that part. Now when it comes to cleaning though,
yeah.
when it comes to cleaning, whatever we have to do,
That's the
whatever
main thing that
we have to move
that's
around,
the main thing that helps us.
whatever play money I have, I'll just put it to the side and
Yep.
hold it
Yep.
because
It makes the
I
world of
need
difference.
that. It does.
Mhm.
It does. It makes a big
Especially when you
difference.
leave the house.
Yes.
And come back.
Man,
Yeah.
it's
Come
a
back in.
little messed up. Then you come back home and you smell that pine saw,
Yes.
that
That's a beautiful
fresh clean,
feeling.
like, oh, I could never do it like this.
Right.
And honestly, it's needed because our house is big and we couldn't clean this whole house out by ourselves. But
Mm-mm.
I still had to adjust to it though.
So you've mentioned a couple of times. Um, you've mentioned it a couple of times. If you could tell us about Kimberly's book and
Yes.
how that
So,
came about.
so Kimberly's book is my love letter to Kimberly. Like
Mm,
I said, the day that I told her I was gonna marry her the day I met her. The day I met her, I knew I was gonna marry her. My first journal entry inside. So what I did was, the day I met her, I knew I was gonna marry, her, and I started writing a journal. Every single day I would write a journal, and just stuff was. It's funny because the part when she talks about when for me, I know it's the moment that she realized she loved me. When I call her like, hey, you didn't sing that day, sing today. Like that day I wrote a journal. Kimberly didn't sing today. I'm about to call her back to see why she's not singing. Like I literally documented everything that I felt, everything that I was going through, everything that I saw and heard. I started writing this journal because when I met Kimberly, God told me my wife was in Louisville and I came to Louisville for my wife. But I
mm,
still was not yet prepared. I was still on the journey to prepare. And at the same time, I tell people all the time, it don't matter how many relationships you've been in, how many people you've been with, everybody that you be with, especially if that person is for you, is gonna be different. So like I would write my journal and the things that I saw in Kimberly that like I love, the things I saw in myself that I felt like could be a hindrance to our relationship. Even some of the things that I saw in Kimberly that I felt like could be a hindrance. Like one thing I love about Kimberly is we always talked everything out. So
mm.
I wrote this journal every single day. And my goal was on our wedding day, I was going to give it to her as a gift.
Oh,
But like
okay.
when I would go to her job and take her flowers and stuff, everybody will always tell me, you should teach classes. You should teach classes. Like, and they tell
Right.
me,
There's like I told my husband that they would take pictures and then I'm like, don't do that. I have them big as
I'll, I'll,
Have a bunch of husbands up there
why are
looking
him
for
bringing
Adam.
Take
flowers?
pictures.
Where that husband yours at?
Don't take pictures of my man bringing me flowers and his. Simmer down.
And their boyfriend, I'm like, they're gonna beat him, they're gonna jump him.
Yeah, yeah. Where that joke at?
Like
Where
all
he at?
the lady at her job.
They're gonna be sick of hearing about
Yeah,
But
yeah.
but her coworkers and everybody would always tell me you should teach classes. You should teach classes. I started thinking about I can't teach classes, but I'm a writer. I've been writing my whole life. Like my first book, I wrote it when I was 18 years old. I've
Okay.
been writing my whole entire life. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna put my two loves together. My first love in life is writing, and the love of my life is Kimberly. So I
Mm-hmm.
started looking at all the journals. I said, but don't nobody want to read a journal. But I feel like we have an interesting story.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Like
definitely.
him, I feel like we have an interesting story. So I'm like, you know what I did was I selected 10 journals. My 10 journals that I
Mm,
felt like had the most meat because it's a nonfiction romance. It's a
yes.
nonfiction love story.
Mm,
Like it's 100% true. But at the same time, the book has a lot of meat in it because, like I said, it started from journals. So
yes.
I took 10 journals and each chapter starts with the journal. And that chapter goes over the things that we experience. But while I'm telling our stories, telling the things that we experience, but it's talking about my preparation. It's talking about my time. Because I used to be a pastor, I used to be a preacher. So I spent a lot of time with God. God led me, like when I told you, when God told me y'all gonna buy a house in 2 months. Hey, babe, God said we're gonna buy a house.
Mm-hmm.
Every decision that I made God led me to do it.
Mm,
So, it talks about the preparation that God was taking me through, of the things that I was learning, the how to communicate better, the things that I saw in Kimberly. But it also tells our story. And the last chapter of the last two chapters of the book, I use every single verse that talks about love or marriage in the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
And I
mm,
just go breaking it down because, sometimes we read the Bible and we'll read something and we think it says something plainly, but we have to understand that the Old Testament was written in Hebrew,
yeah.
and the New Testament is written in Greek. So we have to break down and get down to the root of those words. So a lot of the scriptures, like for instance, you know what love is. So many
Mm,
people know, love is kind, love,
Mm-hmm.
all those different words. I break down what each word means, and
yeah.
bring it to, the time and present inside of a real relationship. But it's just my love letter to Kimberly. And then at the end of the day, I promised her a love. I told her, I said, I'm gonna give you a love so great that all of your friends are gonna be jealous of you. She's like, damn, I want all my friends jealous.
it.
And I felt like the first way to do it was I don't know no other woman. She don't know any other woman that can say my husband wrote a book about me. And it's just a book about
There you go.
communication and growing together and getting to know a
Mm,
person and loving a woman godly.
yes. Yes. That's fantastic.
So, Kimberly, how did you find out about the book and what was your thoughts?
Well, he would randomly give me like love letters too, or like he'll be like, okay, I'm gonna let you read this little he dated, read this little part of my journal. He's like, but you can't keep it. I'm like, okay. I'm like, okay, whatever.
It's funny. It's funny because she asked me, she said, where's the book? The journal. I had an actual journal that I was writing. She said, I never saw it again.
I know. Like, where'd you go?
Oh
But
man.
so and he just randomly told me, he's like, because I'm gonna do something special with them. I was like, okay. So then he told me he was writing the book. And of course he let me like pre-read it. I had to fix some things in there.
Mm,
Management.
understood. Understood.
Like, hold
Yes.
on, hold on. But he just told me he was gonna turn it into these pieces into something special. And then he started writing the book. And I think we went on a vacation for your birthday, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, we went to the mountains, and so he had his little laptop out, and he was outside on the balcony. I'm like, why are you out there? There's bears. But he was. That's when you started writing it.
Yeah,
I
the
think
first.
like the first chapter. So I was like, what are you doing? He was like, I'm working on my book. He's like, I told you I'm doing something special with those journals. I'm turning it into a book. So that's when I first heard about it.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, it was sweet.
I was in God's country up in the mountain. I love God's
Mm,
country. That's the mountains
yeah,
of Jesus. I love it.
beautiful.
That's beautiful.
And it's
So,
funny because she told me about the trip probably about 3, 4 weeks before the trip because she planned the trip. Like, it's funny because when we traveled, our first trip, I said, I want to go such and such. And She went online and booked the flights. I'm like, oh, well, let me go ahead and get the hotel. Like, that's how we plan our trip. We just say we want to go somewhere, and we go somewhere. She was like, where you want to go for your birthday? What you want to do for your birthday? Then she told me about it. I told her, I said, okay, I'm going to take my laptop. And it's funny because my laptop that I wrote Kimberly's book on, I got upset one day. I was writing another book, and I got upset, and I threw my laptop against the wall.
Oh man.
Right. So I didn't have a laptop. So Kimberly gave me my laptop for my birthday the year that we met.
Mm-hmm.
The very next year on my birthday with the same laptop, when we went to the mountains, I started Kimberly's book. And it was the first thing I wrote on that laptop. And I purposely wanted to be the first thing I wrote on that laptop. So
Oh.
now every time I go on that laptop forever, the first thing I see in my documents is Kimberly's book, chapter
Mhm.
1.
Oh man, that is so sweet.
So what's the future outlook? You mentioned kids earlier. Are there kids in the picture? They're
No, probably not,
traveling. Is
honestly.
We're
there
40 now, like we're 35 then.
You know,
Then life happened. It's
right?
like I'm 40, like I'm 40, like
I know.
it's time to like no, like look, she's gonna be the rich auntie, I guess, and I'm gonna be the rich uncle.
You know,
There you go.
there you go.
That's what I'm
Look,
talking
we
about.
we got a couple y'all can borrow.
Yeah, yeah. You ever want to borrow some kids?
They're
Hey,
adults.
they're dope. They don't.
They're
They don't do much.
It's funny because I just told her who was I was like I was saying she's big now. Oh, one of her best friends. I said, he's big now. I said we can
Her
babysit.
son.
Yeah,
There
her
you
son. I
go.
said
There
he's
you
like
go.
3. I said we can babysit. We babysit all the kids.
Right,
You know,
we'll borrow
yeah.
There
We
you
get
go.
There you
to come
go.
send them back
That's,
home.
that's the best thing about babysitting. You know, you
Mhm.
can just enjoy them. You can love them. You can spoil them, and then you
And
send them
send
back
them
home.
home.
Yeah.
Send them home.
Right.
I don't do overnight. Overnight. I've explained to my children, look, I'm not your
Yeah.
nana, so if you want one, make sure you desire
We
it.
didn't got to the age where we need a little more self sufficiency because I remember one time years ago, I called myself helping one of my nieces out, and I kept her son. And I was just, I think I can't remember where you were. You were there, but it
You
was,
you picked him up while I was still at work.
yeah, that's what it was. I picked him
Oh,
up, so I got him, and I'm carrying him in the house. He's probably I don't even think he was 2 yet. I went to go set him down on the floor,
He wasn't even
and I thought he could
even
stand up.
one.
He
He wasn't.
wasn't even one, yeah. I thought he could stand up, and I was like, oh yeah, you can't stand up.
I we ended up, so we adopted a teenager. She ran away. She came back several years later with a baby and was not ready to parent.
Yeah,
So we went from having Reagan was what?
she was 12. She did 12, 11
11,
maybe,
12,
like
somewhere
11,
like that.
12.
That's how young our youngest was to having another baby.
Yeah,
oh my
And
God.
I know we went to the baby store to get some
yeah.
things. I
Didn't know
had a
what the
little
heck.
panic attack because why do they need this much stuff?
Yeah, yeah.
And the first time I packed the baby stuff up to take her to the sitter and get to work on time, I had a little cheer for me party when I got to work because I got there on time. I remembered the baby. I remembered to take the baby stuff.
Mm,
And still got to work on
yeah,
time. So
yeah,
I get it.
yeah. That was an experience.
Right, right. Thankfully, our oldest got it together. And when the baby was 8, she said, Mom, I think I'm ready. And I said, I think you are too.
Yep.
And so
Oh,
she has her now, and we are grandparents and instead of
oh.
parents. So that was a lesson
And
for
just
us.
think about it like this, Kimberly. If you ever get that bug, or you just like think I do want a baby, think about the fact that right now the only person you have to get ready is yourself.
Right.
Oh my God.
Look,
I'm a
and
child.
think about the fact that Byron and Margaret have a 27-year-old and 23-year-old that still live with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go.
And we love them. And I love having adult kids. But whoa,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
it,
It's an experience.
our theme this year has been divorce proof your marriage. So if y'all could take some time to tell us what's something that you do or that you believe or you feel helps you to divorce proof your marriage.
I think for us, it's mostly communication. Like, I love to know the why behind something. Like if Adam makes me mad, sometimes I'm like, just I need a minute. 'Cause I don't want to be sitting here arguing back and forth, being
Mm,
mean to each other. I'm like, give me a second, and then once I've calmed down, we come down. I'm like, okay, so I want to know why did you do something? Communication is pretty much the
Mhm,
main thing.
mhm.
yeah.
Like, and what can we do to fix this? Like, 'cause that's my main thing. I was like, okay, we've talked about it. I know why you did it. Now, how can we not do this again? Like something silly. Well, like you forgot to something in the garage. I don't even remember. Something crazy. Or I can
So, because I left it up one night.
Oh yeah, leaving he'll leave the garage open and the door unlocked. And I'm kind of like, yes, we live in a good neighborhood, but hey, these people are crazy.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he's like, nobody's gonna come mess with us. We're in
Right.
a good neighborhood. I'm like, that's how they get people.
Really?
Right.
We're in the neighborhood that we're like the
He's
only
lying
black people
2020.
in the neighborhood.
Well, there's a lot of us.
That type of neighborhood, though. Like,
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm
Mm,
not in
mm,
I'm
understand.
Get you
thinking
out
in
of
my
there.
head, someone's gonna come in, come up the stairs, tie us up. And I'm just like, we're gonna be doing, and I'm just like, you can't do this. And it really made me mad because I think he did it twice. And he's like,
Mm,
I forgot, I didn't think about it. I said, that's not good enough for me. Like, I need to feel protected. Like, because he sleeps
Yes.
hard. I'm gonna be the one to hear the people.
Right.
And
yeah.
I was
Yeah. Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I know. So it's like, okay, like I asked you not to remember once, you forgot again, and I'm kind of mad because I'm like, people, like I see you hear on the news, they went in, tied the people up, and stole their stuff.
Mhm.
And I'm just like, oh my God. So I was like, okay, now what can we do to fix this? But, and it's just, I mean, like, 'cause we really don't argue a whole lot, but it's just little
Mm,
stuff like that. But sometimes I just ask them to give me that moment. And then we come back, we discuss it, what's the issue? And then how can we fix it?
right. Right. Yeah.
I would say communication the further on hers, but also the way you communicate vulnerability. Like for
Mm,
instance, like when I wrote Kimberly's book, I wrote it to be vulnerable, and I wrote it's the most vulnerable state of my life I've ever been. And I wanted men to understand that it's okay. Like my target audience is men, that are willing to want to get married. We need to
yes.
understand that it's okay for us to be vulnerable.
Yes.
Honestly,
Yes.
a marriage cannot succeed if you're not willing to be vulnerable. But
Thank you.
also, I wanted to write it because
Mm,
another one of my target audience are women that are preparing to get married, and I make a point a lot throughout the book that I was one of the reasons why we communicated so great and we don't argue is because I'm vulnerable. But I haven't been vulnerable with every female that I've ever been with in my life. My wife's the
mm,
first woman that I've ever been 100% vulnerable with. Like before
mm,
we got married, like my wife find out the bad stuff about me, and she'll come and talk to me, and we communicate. She's always created a safe space. And,
yes.
I feel like I tell people all the time, it don't matter. So many people like to get on the I hate when I hear our black men tear our black women down. They just, they just so they don't know how to communicate, don't know how to talk. I tell people all the time, white people, Spanish people, black people, we all struggle with communication.
Oh
But
yeah.
see, I feel like one of the things though is there's certain things that in our culture we're not taught at home, we're not seen at home.
Mm,
Like my grandfather taught me when your wife talk, when my grandma would talk, he would just sit and he would just listen. And he was a quiet man. He didn't say anything. My grandma would it's like we're opposites. I'm the talker, my wife is quiet. But my granddaddy was the quiet man, and my grandmother was the talker.
mm,
So my grandmother would, "Da, da, da, da," and my granddad would just be sitting there listening. I'm like, how you take that?
mhm,
And then she'd go away, and then she'd come back, and they would sit and talk it out. and she would ask him to do, and I would sit and I would watch them. She would ask him to do stuff, and he would ask her to do stuff, and they would talk it out, and they created a safe space. So when I met my wife, I used to always tell her she reminded me of my grandma. One of the reasons, main reason she reminded me of my grandma, because my grandma was mean, and my wife could be mean, but I didn't realize it until I met my wife that it's not mean. It's just like my grandmother. My wife is stern, and she's
Mhm.
gonna stand on her principles. And like you said,
Yes.
she likes to know the why. And I just, gaslighting and all the other stuff that might work
He
for
was used to.
other people, it won't work with my
They
wife.
ain't
I
working.
learned
Yeah.
this in like day two of knowing her.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, of knowing her. So it's like, communication. But like I said, not only just the communication, sometimes it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Yes.
Yep.
I feel like husbands forget to create a safe space for their wives to where they can be vulnerable, and
Yeah.
wives forget to create a safe space for their husbands so they can be vulnerable. It's cool to communicate, but if you communicating but you still not saying everything that you want to say because you don't
Hmm.
feel safe to say
Mm-hmm.
everything that you want to say, your issues aren't going to get resolved.
Right.
Kimmy gives me a safe space, and I always try to give her a
That's
safe
why
space.
sometimes I say, "Give me my little minute."
Right.
There
And
you go.
even that, because some people won't even respect that. No, we're gonna
Mhm.
talk now, or we're gonna finish
Right
now.
now.
I used to do that. I
And
used
I
to
was like,
follow
"You
her.
don't want to talk to me now."
I used to follow her. Like I followed her twice.
And
The
then
first,
follow me again.
and then I realized, okay, it ain't good to follow her.
Yep.
You better
Yeah.
calm
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we
You
can
gonna
talk
turn. You gonna
about it
turn it up
later.
enough if you follow her. Let her cool down.
He knows
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
I say,
I
Yep.
know,
no,
and
now.
I had to learn that about myself too,
Mm-hmm.
because like you said, learning behaviors, back in the day, like sometimes I would throw things at people, like not throw, like literally throw things, but like what they did or bring up the past, stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. And so one time someone said to me, like, you need to stop doing that. Like what you say to people, they don't forget it. And so
Right.
I
Yeah.
took that, and I think that's the thing too, like when talking about people's past, learning that what you're doing is not constructive, and
Yes.
then changing it, and
Yes.
then
Yeah.
willing to say, you know what, that you're right about that.
Mm-hmm.
Let me and work on. And that's why I get that. Okay, you know what? Just give me a second to cool down. I don't want
Right.
to hurt anybody's feelings. I don't want to talk crazy. And then I want to come back and talk like a reasonable person. But
Right.
it's funny that he says that because sometimes he didn't know how to take that at first. And I'm like, okay, but when I came back and I wanted to have the discussion, he's like, why do you want to know why? I was like, because I want to know, like, are you being mean? Are you purposely like disregarding what I'm saying? Like, or is it just like I literally didn't think about it or forgot? Because I want to know, like, why are you doing this behavior?
Right.
And it's
Right.
like the smallest things, like for instance, so like before you walk out our door on our counter in the kitchen, she has a cup holder there. She put the cup holder there for me
Mm.
because I would walk in the house and I would have a drink in my hand and I would just sit it on the couch.
And there'd be like a
Okay.
ring of juice.
So one day,
Ring. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
she just, I mean,
Yeah.
I just want to know why you do, and it probably was the first time I'd heard her scream in like a year. Like,
Mm.
I'm looking like,
As I was wiping up, I was like, "Yo, can you pay attention, to when you're putting your juice down or put something down because I'm constantly having to wipe the spot right here where there's juice. You're not wiping it up. I'm having to do it. And then if you leave stuff around, we get ants. So I was like, I don't have to do that.
and she was like, I just want to know why you keep doing it. Do you not care about what I say? Like, do you not, and she just going through all of these reasons.
I'm like,
uh.
you purposely
And
disregarded me.
it's just that's where it goes when I walk in. That's all.
And I'm like, I just don't think about it. And it's funny because I
Easiest
tell her, I'm
place
like,
to
I
put
just
it.
don't think about it. So
I was like, you know what? Let me just put this coaster here. So now
Yeah.
all you gotta do is just wash the coaster off. You're not damaging the granite counter.
Yeah. And that's the thing about it. Like, there's no justification. And I know, Adam, you probably like me with Scorpios. We're always thinking.
Stubborn. Oh,
The brain is going.
my bad.
So, stuff that like I'll come in the house, same thing. I'll be working, doing some stuff or cutting the grass. I get a bottle out the refrigerator, make a cup, and I'm just gonna sit it on that counter. There's no reason why. I'm just gonna sit it on that counter.
I understood it that way. Okay.
Especially if the dishes are full, I'm just gonna sit it on that counter. And sometimes it may be that I want to use that cup later. You know what I'm saying? Because I grew up in the days where you get that one cup for the day.
I'm the same way. She's like, why you keep this cup? Throw it away. And we don't.
Well, it'd be like a collection of cups after a while. I'm like, okay, give me this cup.
That was yesterday. The second day. That was the day before, but just outside.
And Kimberly, I don't know how bougie you are, but just get them some paper cups.
Well, that's what I did.
That's what she started doing.
It's funny that he said that because he'll take a solo cup and sit next to the sink. And I'm like, what are you doing? Right. It's disposable.
We used to clean them. So I grew up, we used to clean them solo cups. I mean, I ain't gonna lie.
Look, I grew up with sometimes the solo cups were the only cups we had in the house, so we had to recycle.
Okay, yeah. Wash them
I
bad
feel
boys a
you,
few times before you throw them out.
feel you. I walk through the house sometimes, and I think this is more the ADHD. And I'll find a half drank bottle of water or half can of ginger ale, and I just pick it up, and wherever he is, I take it and sit it in front of him.
Yeah.
That's mine. Yeah. Yours.
See, it ain't just me to do that.
Yeah. You just got to find different ways. You just have to find different ways to fight that battle. It's like you can get it to stick in that head. Like you said, take that cup and here you go.
Right, just put it on the coaster. We're
Yeah.
good.
There you go right there.
But you know what? I found out though, like my granddad used to always tell me to pick your battles.
Yeah.
But I don't even pick battles. I don't battle at all. My granddad used to always tell me also, you just do what your wife tell you to do. You will be okay. So
Mhm.
now it just get to the point to where I come in and I let her tell me what to do. Then we get married so my wife can make all our decisions anyway.
We will not steer you wrong.
There you go. There you go.
We've got your
I mean,
best interest at
you
heart.
learn a lot. You learn a lot real quickly.
Listen, I told him, I said, and he made it rough for me a little bit because I said, I'm the type of person, like, if someone says they got a black eye, someone has told this thing before, and he's on the corner saying, don't go down this way, there's somebody black in eyes. I'm turning around and finding a new route.
Right.
After him,
I'm gonna go and see what's going on.
and he goes to the next person on the corner. I'm like,
See?
Adam, I tried to tell you that you don't have to go through it.
Right.
But sometimes you just gotta let him go through it. I just like, you know what? I'm not gonna fight. Just let him do it, and then he'll figure out. Then he comes back. I should have did it that way. That's what I
Right.
told you.
Right. I think that
Sometimes you have to do that.
right.
Yes.
Mhm.
It's right. But
Mhm.
I easily learn from other people's lessons.
Yeah, that's the
I
exact.
don't need to learn it firsthand. So
No,
I get it.
I gotta go through
I
with my
get it. I
kids.
believe them. You're coming from that way. You have a black eye. I believe you.
yeah.
But see, I'm a dog. I'm a weak. I ain't gonna get the black.
You know, he on the corner telling people not to go down that way.
I have this thing
Don't
like
go down there.
I live a lie. I have this
They
thing I
hold you
live
out.
my
Don't
whole
go
life.
down there.
Somebody
That
don't
was like
recognize.
me.
And I have this thing, I say my name a lot. I'm like, I'm Adam Maurice Fling. It ain't gonna be the same for me.
And then
Okay.
he's like, okay.
Yeah.
Well, we want to thank y'all so much for coming to share your story with us. We're going
Yes.
to make sure to have information about Kimberly's book
Thank you so
in
much.
our show notes and on our website. And we appreciate your time.
And I have email because we have a direct link. I have Kimberly email you the link for Kimberly's book if you want to,
Okay.
put it up there. That way
Okay.
they
Yes.
won't have to look for it. They can just click
There
the
you
link.
go.
Get interested.
All right. That's right. All right. That's right. We can be here talking all day. I just love you guys.
Listen,
I
I know.
love to
Well, I'm a talker for real.
I
So
love the
I love
love
especially
and
unmarried couples.
Right.
yeah.
Right.
You guys, when we had the meet and greet, I saw the love just generate through the screen,
Mm-hmm.
and it is real. There's nothing fake about it. There's nothing phony about it. It is authentic. And I just love seeing you guys. So
The way that the two of you complement
yes,
each other,
yes,
your personalities,
yes,
um, you play off of each other, and I love that. That's
yeah,
beautiful. We appreciate it. We appreciate your time and your story. Um, we're probably going to invite you back later for an update,
yes,
to
definitely.
see how things are going, so that we can talk and see if it's still if he's still putting the cup on the counter.
Yeah.
I already know.
He got a Stanley Cup. That's somebody don't no conversation.
I might get one of them so I can put it on the counter.
Oh man, that was a blast. Those two, just looking at them through the screen, I could just see the love and the joy that they have for one another.
I love that they the communication piece
Yes,
and
yes.
understanding the needs of the other. So if
Mm,
you need space to process, I'm going to give you space. If you need time to, if you need to understand the why,
yeah,
um,
yeah,
I'm going to give you that. So
yeah,
I love that they have learned to work through those issues together, and let the relationship be stronger because of it.
yep, yep. And it was fascinating when he said that God told him his wife was in Louisville, Kentucky.
And he packed and
And
went.
he packed and went. That's amazing. And he met her on Plenty of Fish.
Right, right. So, we would like to extend an invitation for any of you couples out there who want to share your love story.
Yes.
That's what we're here for. We want to encourage those who want a happy, healthy relationship, but we also want you to see that there are couples who love each other,
Right.
who are making it work every day. So if you are one of those couples, please contact us. You can reach us at www.beyondidopodcast.com. You can email us at admin
Mm-hmm.
at beyondidopodcast.com, or
Yep.
reach out to us on Facebook or Instagram.
Please just come and let's enjoy ourselves and have a good time, just like we did with this young couple. So,
All right.
all right.
Till
Until next
next
time.
time.